In today's video, I will show you how to use EstimatorXpress for plastering and decorating. First of all, as always, it makes sense to ensure the prices that you're using for your jobs are completely up to date. To do this, I'll go to the library, to the price books, I'll go to the master price book the software has built in with all the prices. I'll go to material, and I hit select. Software will then bring up the material price book. From this point, we can then either add to or adjust materials as we see fit. So of course, for example, if we want to add some paint in, simply key in a word that is relevant. So paint, and there we have all the items in software with the word paint built in. And from this, we can either edit or create new items. To create a new item, you simply go to select an item that is most similar to the item that you are looking to add in, go to new resource, and give it a name. So it could be perhaps, for example, Dulux smooth masonry paint, and delete away where it says copy, and then we key in the cost for the unit of material. So this perhaps could be $49.99. Just using it as an example. Once we're happy there, we simply click on OK, and that item is now added into software to be used when, well, essentially whenever we need. And of course, the same applies to items such as labour as well. So it's really that simple in terms of how to add in materials, and of course if you want to just a decorator. Once we've brought up the labourer, we simply then select the labourer we would like to adjust or to add to, click on the item name, click on the new resource, and enter in a fresh set of details. And of course we can then add in the relevant pricing for the labourer. Once we're happy with the relevant details, obviously the cost per hour here, we click on OK, and that's now added into the software. And essentially that is how you add prices for materials, for labour, for plants, subcontract and sundry items. It's really that straightforward. Once we're happy with the information we've keyed in there, we can then go back to the dashboard like so by clicking on dashboard and begin a new job. So I click on create new job like so. I select quote from my job template. I then select a renovation. I can confirm all the details, the name, description, reference number, price book that's being used to price with, when the start date of the job may be, so whatever it is, in the coming months. Of course, we're using the renovation spec. And of course, on top of that, we can adjust things like the profit markup, inflation costs as well. And once we're happy there, we click on create job. After a few seconds, the software will bring up on screen some questions for us to answer, to complete, so it understands what we're looking to do today in terms of costing. This takes a few seconds. So today we are looking to renovate a room here, so I will click on room renovation here. And I then select the shape of the room. I'm going to go for a rectangular room, but you can go for any shape with obviously flat ceiling or any shape with a vaulted ceiling. I'm just going to go with the rectangular room. I hit select, and then from the drop down list I select where it may be. I'm going to go with a lounge here, so lounge. Like so. And then I'm going to select what I am doing here on the job. So I'm just waiting for it to all appear. And here we have all the options available for the job at hand. We can do everything all at once using the internal renovation calculator, or we can manually price the job using plastering and decorating tools separately. I personally would go with the internal renovation tool, but I'll show you how to do both. So actually, through this list you can see quite a number of items in terms of what the software allows you to renovate here. And this is obviously just for a room. You can of course do things like roofs and external renovations as well. Once you're happy, hit select, and then we can start confirming details on the job. So we can confirm the length of the room that we are building here, well not building, that we are decorating. So we can say perhaps it's 7.5 meters, and it's perhaps 4 meters wide. We can then add in any openings that we need to, and if there's any partition walls, and if we'd like to allow for any how would I say it, electrical items or indeed plumbing items, but I'll come back to that in another video. So as I say, there's two ways of doing your plastering and decorating. The best tool I would say would be using the renovation section here and do an internal renovation. We select what we're looking to do, but in this instance I'm going to hack all walls, replaster, skirt and decorate. We can of course do many other renovation items and methods. In this particular instance I will be going with the top option here, and up pops the dimension wizard. I'm going to click on Tech Tips, so it gives us some guidance in the top right hand corner what it is looking for us to enter in each of the boxes as we click through them. So we can confirm the height of the walls, if there's any other areas of walls that we'd like to work on in their area. We can confirm the length of the walls. The software knows this information as we've previously entered it in on the previous screen. We then confirm if we're looking to strip paper from the walls, a yes or no. If we're looking to hack plaster from the walls, yes or no. The thickness of the existing plaster that you find on the walls, and the bulking factor in terms of how much the plaster bulks up to go in the skip. We're looking to replaster and skim walls, and if we're looking to insulate them or not. And again, that's a yes or no answer. And of course, if we're looking to seal the walls prior to plastering, or if we're looking to do only a plaster skim to the walls. In terms of decoration, we can go to decoration to walls, etc. And then we can confirm how we're looking to decorate the walls. If the walls are to be decorated, are these to be papered? Are they to be have a length of wallpaper border? Are the skirtings to be primed and decorated? Are architraves to be primed and painted? And if the internal doors, again, will be primed and painted. The same applies to windows, and of course external doors too. We can then go to the next screen and adjust any details on any doors that are involved in the obviously the renovation here. Any windows, and any of the external doors. I'm clicking past these at the moment. I'm ignoring them because we're just doing plastering and decorating. And then the ceiling as well. Of course, if there's a ceiling, then we need to ensure if that is covered. Obviously, it's taking the information from before. And then we can confirm if there's ceiling paper, are we removing the ceiling, and of course the thickness of the plaster on the ceiling. If we're going to seal, we're going to skim, we're going to plasterboard and reskim ceiling. The ceiling's going to be decorated, the ceiling's going to be papered, and if the ceiling is to be insulated. We hit finish, and we have now done full plastering and decorating for the job. Alternatively, you can do the items that we've just done there separately by going to these separate sections here. So I go to plastering, and I can do a complete room plaster. Just a typical room plaster and insulation that I'm going to do. And rather like the previous dimensional wizard that I showed you there, click on Tech Tips, and we can confirm all the information on the dimensions. Again, it's remember the information we entered at the top there at the beginning. All we need to do is confirm that information stays the same, and then we click through. We confirm the details on the cornice, picture rails and dados. So anything that we're looking to do in the job, we can do there. And then again, we can confirm if we're replastering and skimming the walls. Are they to be insulated? Are they to be angle beads? In terms of the centre battens of the existing walls, are we sealing the walls prior to plastering? Are we applying only plaster skim to the walls? And if there's an allowance for sundry materials to be allowed into the job, we can then obviously click through. Because obviously we're not doing any door decoration in this instance, we're just doing plastering and decorating. We can click through. The same for the windows, external doors, and again we can confirm all the details on the ceiling. We then hit finish, and that is the plastering done manually instead of all together, because that's done on its own. And then of course we can do decorating in the same way as well. So let's go to complete room decoration. So I'm going to paint the walls and skirtings like so. And once again, the software remembers all the details in terms of dimensions, so we don't need to key that in again. So we can of course click on the Tech Tips box here. It gives us some advice. We click through the specifications of decoration to walls, etc. And again, we can confirm obviously the details of the decoration to walls, etc. Once again, we can confirm the walls are decorated, to be papered. Is there going to be a length of wall border? Skirtings to be primed, decorated. Architraves to be primed and painted. And the same obviously applies to doors and windows and external doors if you're getting involved in them. So in this particular instance, in this demonstration here today, I'm simply showing you how to do plastering decorating, so that obviously won't apply in this particular instance. So again, I'm not going to enter information on the internal doors, the windows or external doors. And of course, if there's any external doors being involved, obviously I ask you to confirm the depth to it. And again, we confirm the details on the ceilings, so in terms of the length and the width of the room, and if the ceilings are to be decorated, and if they're going to be papered. Once we're happy, we hit finish, and we have now priced for the decorating done manually. As I say, perhaps the best option to get everything done at once rather than having to nip in and out of estimating calculators is simply to do the renovation and demolition option and the internal renovation. But of course you can do it manually, you can do it separately, you can do it all as one. Finally, to adjust any of the material, the labour, the plant, the subcontract, the sundry, or indeed any of the prices, we can adjust the said costs simply by going to the resource wizard option here, like so. And then once again, we can simply click on the heading that we'd like to adjust, like so, click on the heading, and then we go across to the resource used, and simply select the relevant item that is required from the list. It's really that simple and that straightforward, and there's obviously no more difficulty to obviously adjusting the price and the costing, and simply click on a heading and adjusting it accordingly. So it's literally no more complicated than clicking on the heading that you'd like to adjust and selecting the item from the list. And it's adjusted. And the same obviously applies to the labour and plant and so on. Again, just click on the heading that we would like to adjust. In this instance, the labourer. Simply a case of clicking on the heading, the label, going to the resource used, and selecting the relevant labourer. It's no more complicated than that. And that is how you cost for plastering and decorating in EstimatorXpress. Thanks for watching.